everybody, welcome back to 5-Digit Films, the channel for all things amputee. My name is Bobby and today I have another prosthetic for you guys. Now this prosthetic I got at the exact same time as my dual site myoelectric prosthetic. However, my dual site myoelectric prosthetic isn't actually the original one that I had. I ended up having another surgery a year after my amputation, and we had to redo the dual site myoelectric prosthetic. But because the cable operated or body powered prosthetic that I got originally didn't really need any modification for me to still wear it, so I was still able to wear that prosthetic even after my second surgery. Now, why would I need to have my prosthetics done after another surgery? Well, as you know, the dual site prosthetic has 2 sensor locations. And what we did was a surgery called TMR, and I'll get into that in later videos. But essentially what we did in that surgery was moved my nerve endings around. Therefore, I wasn't going to be able to control my dual site prosthetic the same way that I always did. The other thing is we shortened up my stump just ever so slightly, so that made the fit of my prosthetic different. My body-powered prosthetic doesn't rely on any of that though. The only thing that made the littlest bit of difference is that my stump sat deeper into the prosthetic, so it gave me a little less range of motion, but still I was able to use it just as normal. So here is my body-powered or cable-operated prosthetic. It's a very simple design. It has this strap here so that I can wear it as a harness and operate the prosthetic, which I'll show you here in a second. One of the ways that this prosthetic differs from my myoelectric prosthetic is that it doesn't necessarily rely on skin tension and an elbow strap to stay on my arm. What this relies on is the harness here, this elbow brace, and then this compression sleeve. And if you'll notice, it has a barb at the end of it that locks me into the prosthetic. So I'll show you how that all goes together right now. All right, so the first thing I have to do is get this compression sleeve on my arm. And if you look on the inside, it has this sticky gel kind of material. That gives me grip on my skin. So I have to turn it inside out. Like this. And then what I have to do is get the barb lined up on the end of my stump so that it points directly outward. About like this. So then I roll the compression sleeve up onto my arm. Now this is the funny thing. This is a Willowwood Alpha Classic compression sleeve, size medium. It fits my arm nice and snug. It's supposed to. But what's funny about this is when people see this writing sticking out of my prosthetic, they think I've gotten a tattoo. And I always reply the same way. Yeah, because Willowwood Alpha Classic is exactly what I wanted tattooed on my arm. Not that they're a bad company or anything, it just wouldn't make sense. So the next step is getting the prosthetic on my arm. So what I have to do is I have to thread my arm through here over the brace. And if you listen, you hear those clicks. That's that barb clicking in to the bottom of the prosthetic. So then the next thing I have to do is put my shoulder harness on. So I just slide my arm through, up over the head, and I'm in. So then I have to decide, what do I want to use as my end effector for the day or the job? What do I need to do, and what attachment is going to suit me the best? And normally the answer would be this hook right here. Inside the hook, it's got rubber pads just like my myoelectric prosthetic. So if I grab onto something, it won't damage it. So what I have to do is feed it into this hole and press this button where my thumb is, and that gets it on. And then I can lock it I can lock it into different positions. And then if I want to rotate it, I just press that button again, it pops out, I rotate it how I want it, and then I pop it back in place, and it'll hold right there. So then I have to hook my cable up, and I'm all set for whatever it is that I need to do. So how this one works, as you can see, when I push my arm away from my body, it pulls the hook open, and then when I retract my arm back, it closes it. So again, from this angle. How it closes are these black rubber bands here. The more rubber bands that I have on it, the tighter the grip. Right now, it's at about 3 pounds of gripping force. Now this is majorly different from my Myoelectric that has 26 pounds of gripping force. So I have to really be careful how I grab onto things with this particular prosthetic. But where this prosthetic differs from my Myoelectric is that I have 3 other attachments for it, not just one. So the other attachment I have is this. It's a hook and loop. And if you'll notice, it doesn't have the black rubber pads. Instead, it's got a hardened serrated gripping area, and it's got a series of different style hooks, and it's got this loop here in the center. So I'll stick that on for you and show you what that looks like. So there, you can see it even kind of opens differently. But I have to be really careful with this one, because if I grab onto something soft, I could definitely scratch it, like wood or something like that. But this one works really well. I was actually chainsawing. I may put in a little clip here of that. But I was using this prosthetic, and what I was doing was putting the handle of the chainsaw through this loop and then operating the chainsaw with my right hand. It actually worked out pretty well. Now this one has a few more rubber bands on it than the other one did, and that's because this is my workhorse prosthetic. I don't usually wear this one around the house. If I'm doing, you know, things around the house, routine stuff, I'm usually wearing my daily driver, my Myoelectric. But if I'm going out and I need something strong, heavy duty, doesn't rely on a battery charge, this is the prosthetic that I'm going to be wearing. So as I showed you, I push my arm away from my body to open and close it, but that's kind of an exaggerated movement. The other thing I can do is take this shoulder and bring it forward to operate, because a lot of times I have my arm close to me and I can't stretch my arm out, so I'll move my shoulder in order to do it. So the other 2 attachments that I have are this Lego hand here. See how it kind of resembles the hand of a Lego guy? And then I have this, and I'll show you how they work. So just the same as these hooks, these other attachments just kind of pop in place, but they don't need the cable hooked up because obviously they don't open and close. But this Lego hand I actually found very useful for curling dumbbells. These jaws kind of flex a little bit. So if you have something about that size, you can just pop the Lego hand onto it and it'll kind of hold it in a static grip. Same as the other ones, I can rotate it around and lock it in place. And then finally I have this one. So this one was actually designed for kayaking. On the inside here, it's got a grippy surface, like a grip tape on a skateboard. And then what I can do is I can put this device around something and then lock it in place, and it'll hang on to it for me. Now, if you can imagine kayaking, rowing the oars, this prosthetic would work really well. The reason they gave it to me is prior to my amputation, I was actually into weightlifting. I know, it's hard to tell the way I am, but believe me, I used to be into weightlifting, and it's something that I was very passionate about, and one day I hope to get back into it and bring you guys along for the ride. But they gave this to me so that I could latch onto a barbell or a dumbbell or some of the other gym equipment. And I haven't really used this, though I have found some places where it may have been beneficial for me to use this device. But as far as what I'm using the most, it's one of the two hooks that I have. That seems to work the most for what I'm doing day to day. And again, I'm using this stuff out in the garage, or I was actually using this device with the rubber gripped hook out in Sturgis twice in a row now, because I don't have to rely on a battery charge for this prosthetic to work. So if I'm going to be out on the road for 9 days, I don't want to have to worry about a charge. So this prosthetic comes in very handy. And again, it's very durable. This wrist has a breakaway force of over 50 pounds, I think. They say that I can dang near hang from it and I'll be okay. And I've actually lifted up a lot of things with it. The issue that I'm going to have when it comes to the gym and using this prosthetic, this will be much better than my myoelectric. Trust me, I've already tried it. But the issue that I run into is my pain threshold. When I'm trying to like curl a weight or something like that, all of that force is pressing down on the end of my stump, on the end of that bone, and there's nothing really there to pad it except skin and this liner that I have on. So one of the biggest obstacles to overcome there is going to be my pain threshold. And over time, I will be able to overcome that, but my plan for now is to do low weight, high reps. I can do about 20, 25 pounds before the pain really starts getting to me. But it's something that you probably don't think about if you have two hands. I know I never would have thought about it. You see these people on Instagram and stuff just pump and iron with their prosthetic like it's nothing. And I about guarantee you they had to really work up to that because of pain. So if you watch my other channel, Area 52, you've probably seen me working on vehicles and some of my projects with my prosthetics on. I think there's a couple videos where I'm actually wearing the cable operated device, and there's a couple videos where I'm wearing my dual site myoelectric. When I'm in the garage, I really need to be a little bit more mindful about that, because that dual site myoelectric prosthetic is substantially more expensive than the cable operated body powered prosthetic. We're looking at a difference of probably about $100,000 or more. This costs about $15,000, and my entire myoelectric prosthetic cost just under 200 grand. I think is around 184 or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but that's just to give you guys an idea. Now granted, workers' comp insurance, accident fund, they took care of all that stuff for me. It was no hassle to me. But if something were to ever happen, I'd better have a good explanation, and they may deny my claim to replace it. It's at their discretion. So I have to be really careful with my prosthetics. Now, about every 3 years, these prosthetics will be replaced. And I'll just go back through my prosthetic company. They'll either make new prosthetics or just replace what I have. And I will start over fresh. These things, the myoelectric definitely has a shelf life of about 2 years. I'm moving a lot with that. Things are going to wear out. This cable operated device, it's a little bit more durable, so it'll last a little bit longer, but that's up to the discretion of my prosthetic company, SRT Prosthetics. So anyway, that's a lot of information for you guys. I hope that you guys liked this video. Comment down below and let me know which attachment you liked the most, or which device you like better, the body powered cable operated prosthetic or my dual site myoelectric prosthetic. And later, I actually have one more for you guys. but it's still not finished, so I'm not going to show it to you yet. I actually have an appointment in the morning to go do some more work with my newest prosthetic. So stay tuned for that. So if you would, like and subscribe my channel, refer other people to this channel. I really want to reach as many people as possible. And have a great day, everybody. I'll catch you next time.